Bobby worked in IT, not cybersecurity or anything cool, just regular help desk stuff. Password resets, printer issues, people forgetting to turn things off and on again. He liked his job well enough. It paid the bills. He lived in a small apartment, drove a Honda Civic, and went to church on Sundays. He had been saved for about 2 years now. He came to Christ during a rough patch, a breakup, some anxiety, the feeling that something was missing. His cousin had invited him to a men's conference, and something the speaker said stuck with him. You are not your cravings. You are not your past. You are not even your impulses. You are God's. That sentence undid something in Bobby. After that weekend, he got baptized, started reading his Bible, joined a small group, cleaned up his act. Mostly. The thing about sin was, it didn't always come kicking and screaming. Sometimes it came gently, quietly, like the way Bobby still scrolled through certain Instagram accounts late at night, telling himself it wasn't that bad. Or how he flirted a bit too long with Vanessa at work. She was married, but they only joked. Nothing physical. And how he watched shows he knew stirred something in him. But everyone watched them, and he wasn't being legalistic. His pastor had said something that haunted him, though. Compromise never feels like compromise until you look back and realize you've moved. So Bobby tried harder. He'd fast a little more, pray louder, go to more church events. But it felt like something was fraying. One Tuesday morning, Bobby got to work early. He liked the quiet. His phone buzzed, a verse of the day. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23. He sighed. He knew that verse. It had shown up 3 times this week. During lunch, he walked to the park, sat on a bench. He called his friend James. You ever feel like you're doing everything right, Bobby said, but something still feels off? James was quiet, then said, You guard in your gates. What gates? Your eyes, your ears, your thoughts, all the doors to your soul. You're letting stuff in? I mean, not really. Not like before. James paused. Look, man, purity isn't about avoiding the big sins. It's about staying clean in the small places, the places no one sees. That night, Bobby sat in his room. No music, no screens, just silence. He prayed, God, what am I missing? A memory hit him. He was 17, playing drums at youth group. After service, the pastor gave him a ride home. Purity is like clean water, the pastor said. You only need a little dirt to make it cloudy. That same night, Bobby had watched something he shouldn't have. It took years to stop. He never forgot that feeling. That weekend, Bobby's church had a men's retreat. He almost didn't go, but something told him to. They did a session on holiness. The speaker was blunt. We treat purity like it's optional, like holiness is for monks and missionaries. But Hebrews 12:14 says, Make every effort to live in peace with everyone and to be holy. Without holiness, no one will see the Lord. The room was quiet. The speaker continued, God doesn't just want you to avoid sin. He wants you to desire Him more. After the session, they broke into prayer circles. Bobby's group prayed over each other. When it was Bobby's turn, an older man said, I don't know why, but I feel like the Lord is saying this. Stop feeding what you're trying to kill. That hit hard. Bobby went home with a strange peace. Not emotional hype, just clarity. He deleted the social media apps, canceled the shows, blocked the sites, even changed his lunch breaks to avoid Vanessa. At first, it felt empty, quiet, lonely. Then something shifted. He began waking up earlier, reading the Bible more consistently. One morning he read Psalm 119, verse 9. How can a young man keep his way pure? By guarding it according to your word. And then verse 11. I have stored up your word in my heart, that I might not sin against you. It was simple, but something opened in him. Bobby started journaling. He wrote something one morning that stayed with him. Living pure is like tending a garden. You can't just plant good things. You have to pull weeds every day, even the small ones. If you don't, they choke the life out of what you're growing. That became his philosophy. He'd wake up, pull weeds, thoughts that didn't belong, shows that weren't life-giving, conversations that stirred confusion. Instead of asking, "Is this sin?" he started asking, "Does this help me grow?" Bobby didn't become a monk. He still worked in IT, still drank coffee and wore hoodies. But his eyes were clearer. His mind was quieter. Temptations didn't vanish, but they didn't rule him. He had joy, not excitement, not hype. Joy